Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Before we continue, I would like to thank you all for supporting this channel. And thank you also to those of you who always give shoutouts or encouragement. Okay, without further ado, let's get straight to the discussion.
A few moments later.
Before I start, I want to ask you all, do you know about these logos?
Some of you may already know, and some may not. Well, here are all the logos that have been used throughout the history of the car parking game, guys.
Oh my god! Wow!
So, in this video, I'll briefly discuss the history of the car parking game throughout its history, as best I can. However, I'll focus on two mechanical characters who frequently change positions in each version of the game. This is an early look at the game when it first launched around 2017, and it's now approximately 8 years old. In this early look, the mechanical characters I'm referring to haven't appeared yet. Okay, so in this first version, I don't think that mechanic was actually added. Now, let's move on to the next version.
A few inches later.
Well, it was in this version that the character mechanics were added, but honestly, I haven't started playing the game yet. I think this version was released sometime between 2018 and 2020. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Now, let's take a look at the garage. Here are the two character mechanics we're talking about today, because they're so interesting and they're still in the game to this day.
Till it's cool, just cool, into the mouth. Nice.
Besides discussing character mechanics, this version also lets us experience the atmosphere of the past, which I think is very beautiful and full of nostalgia. Okay, let's move on to the next version.
2 hours later.
Okay, now we're moving on to the version where I first played this game. This is the version I first played car parking, if I'm not mistaken. Around 2021 or 2022, I still vividly remember it, right during the COVID-19 pandemic, and because I was bored at home, I finally gave this game a try. Since then, it's been incredibly difficult for me to put this game down. Now let's focus again on the two mechanic characters in this game. One mechanic is seen relaxing in a red uniform, and the other is repairing a damaged car. Honestly, this version holds the most memories for me. Oh yeah? Is this your first time playing this version too? Leave a comment below. Okay, let's move on to the next version. Guys.
Okay.
1 eternity later.
Okay, we're on to the next version. This version was released around 2022, specifically version 4.8.1, if I'm not mistaken. Now we focus on two mechanics in front of a repair shop. Here, the two characters are repairing a Nissan 350Z and a Chevrolet Bel Air.
Yeah, boy.
This version is just as engaging as the previous one, and it's precisely this version that's seen a significant increase in popularity.
Wow!
Especially considering the game's size is now over 1 gigabyte.
Huh?
Okay guys, let's move on to the next version. Well, in this version, one of the Lamborghinis is missing, which I mentioned in the previous video. In this version, the mechanics are still the same, wearing red and blue uniforms, and they're repairing a Civic Type R. And this version, I think many of you still remember, because it was released in 2024, that's a year ago, okay? Now we're moving on to the next version, which is version 2025. In this 2025 version, the two mechanics are still around. At the beginning of this garage update, they're seen repairing a Nissan Skyline. It looks like a Nissan Skyline R33, though I don't know what part is damaged. Then, after the next update to the current version, the mechanics are now repairing a BMW M4. Meanwhile, a mechanic in a red suit stood a little ways away, right next to the compressor. He looked like he was painting a car bumper or something. What was truly impressive was that the two mechanics were consistent from the previous version to the current one. These mechanics were likely OSS and Tazimov. Because, as we know, they are the developers.
Yes!
And, as we know, at the beginning of the founding of the City 2 map, Tazimov built a workshop on the border between the highway map and the City 2 map. Until now, the workshop is known as the Mechanic Tazimov, which is the name of the developer of this game. Guys.
Okay.
Interestingly, the two mechanics aren't always in the garage anymore. As you can see on screen, they're now on the side of the road, fixing a flat tire on an Audi. However, the mechanic in the red shirt is seen simply folding his elbows, like someone warming up for a workout or a boss waiting for the job to be done. Not only that, in last year's major update, Olsys also introduced 4 guard characters to the car sales area in City 1. They appear to be waiting for the arrival of a truck that will load containers. Interestingly, these characters closely resemble those in Tazimov's next-gen truck simulator. And there's another, no less unique character who appears to be repairing a crane on Top Hand. It looks quite amusing if you look closely. Following Otis's major update, player interest in the game has skyrocketed. Just imagine, the total number of downloads has now reached over 100 million. A truly remarkable number. Wow! How could you not be interested, guys? In just yesterday's update, Oles already created characters with some really cool animations. They look like they're buying and selling food at the donut shop in City 1. The atmosphere really feels alive, like a real city. And it's not just in City 1, guys. This cool animated character is also on the desert map, specifically at the burger joint. And finally, you can find him in City 2, in the hospital area. So, this game world feels even more alive and realistic.
Nice.
By the way, when did you start playing this game? And what's your most memorable memory? Please leave a comment below.
Okay.
Hello, taxi.